So here we are with this big ass boy right here. Yes sir, the dual cell 75-inch Hisense U9DG. Man, when I tell you this shit is so fucking heavy, I am not even joking, like bro. And just so you guys can see, it is the 75-inch. You guys see it right there, 75 inches. The first ever reviewed here on Quantum TV, and for good reason. Just look at how fucking massive this thing is. Yo, look at these speakers though, they're pretty sick looking. And then you got this right here. You've got some ports right here in the back, your serial, your service, your audio channel, or not your audio, your digital audio out, your LAN, and then over here, you've got your HDMI ports, you've got your 4K 60, your two 4K 60 ports at the top, and then you've got your 4K 120 at the bottom, headphones, USB, stuff like that. You've got your cable management, which routes down through the side. So a very big change from the, U8G is that now this comes out from the side and comes down, which is very, very cool. Now, if you can hear, I'm out of breath because I am essentially setting up this 75-inch big boy all by myself. Yes, lifting it and all. And when I tell you this motherfucker was so heavy, like, oh my God, I am not gonna have fun. So I'm gonna go sweat some more and then we'll get continuing with the rest of the video. Now, a special note, it has some Marvel Avenger level thickness to it. I mean, just look at the thickness of that styrofoam, dude. Like, that is just absolutely immense. And that's what you're dealing with on this display. So yeah, don't worry about styrofoam. They have like foam pieces, I should say, not necessarily styrofoam, and they're ridiculously thick. It's a well padded TV. I mean, just for retrospect, look at my hand to the styrofoam's thickness. It's incredible, and it's literally all around. Now, at the bottom of this thing, you will find your package here. Mine was kind of just wedged down here, as you guys can see. So we have like all of our remotes and all that other stuff. All that stuff is in this really long bag. You can't really see it long, but it's a pretty darn long bag. So here we have the same remote as the U8G. So no difference there, which is kind of disappointing given the price point. I wish they would have included like a metal remote or something like that. A way of saying, hey, Mr. Customer, you paid $2 grand. But it's not a bad remote, it's just not the best, and it can be found on a cheaper TV, which I think does suck. Now, you do have those really nice cables for, again, legacy hookup, so if you use it, great. And then, of course, your power cable, which is a detachable. It is not built in, so that is one of the biggest benefits against something like maybe an LG OLED or something. You do have the ability to remove that power cable in case anything happens. Now, I like that they kept with the nice kind of checkerboard-esque design. That's really cool. And if you decide, you can use this really long panel to kind of cover this up over here. Now, it's probably backwards, but this is just a way of kind of like making everything more streamlined. And they have like a little cutout here so you can fish the wires down. So you don't have to have your wires exposed if you don't want to, which is good, I guess, if you're wall mounting, but I really can't see anyone wall mounting something this heavy. It just doesn't make sense. But I think as far as just keeping a clean setup, this is a nice little door for keeping a generalized clean setup. It works, it looks nice, so yeah. Now, one thing that kind of really disappoints me about this as I'm setting it up is you only really have one real way of hooking up your legs, and that's basically just this wide-angled position. So yeah, that kind of sucks. As far as the assembly, it's exactly the same as the U8G, so it goes from the bottom and it's really kind of self-explanatory. Now, as you can see, I've already got my screwdriver in, but essentially once you put the leg on, you literally just screw it in here, and again, it is super duper duper easy to do. And then once you're done, then you're really done. Okay, so I finally got this big boy all set up. Now, I have massive space limitations, so we're just gonna have to jerry-rig this how we can. So, as you see, there are gonna be some TVs behind it. Again, bear with it. The first thing I'm noticing as I see the welcome screen, it's a welcome screen, right? There's the same Google UI. They're gonna ask you to select your country. We're gonna select the United States. Then they're gonna ask you your time zone. We're gonna select Eastern. After that, they've got a really annoying thing that they do on all these TVs where they ask you your zip code. I don't know why, but I hate this part the most. But fortunately, if you don't want to do it, you can skip it. Then they'll ask you to pair your Bluetooth remote, but since ours is already fully functioning, we're just gonna hit skip and go to the next part. Then they'll ask you if you want to select either Android or whatever they're gonna ask you. If you wanna set it up with your phone, basically, you can continue, or you can just do skip and say forget all that nonsense and do it manually. So after we've basically hooked ourselves up to the internet, then they'll tell you to make the most of your Google TV. We're just gonna hit skip for that. And now we're hit with the forced Google terms of service. Again, more notably is paragraph 2 and paragraph 3. These are things that I don't like to see on a TV, so I hope they in the future will get rid of this and make it plug and play, because I don't like hearing that a device may install stuff, and they also temporarily collect data from like your microphone and your and save it in the audio history. And this is just a Google thing in general. Like every TV, every Sony, every Vizio, every TCL, every Hisense, every TV that's rocking Google has these terms of service. And Vizio, to my knowledge, is the only one that lets you literally just skip and opt out altogether and stay offline if you choose to. I would like to see that on everybody else. So I don't know if maybe that's something like Hisense could maybe talk to Google about to get the same kind of thing that Vizio has, but it's definitely like something that puts me as a consumer off from like being excited about the purchase. Now, that being said though, we are gonna have to hit accept because we have no choice. And so they're gonna ask our location, and because they made us comply, what are we gonna do? Deny. And then they're gonna ask us, would you help Android? Since you strong-armed me, absolutely not. You can go take a long walk off of a very short bridge. And then they're gonna ask us to control the TV with, voice commands and whatever. And then they're gonna ask you how you wanna set it up. I'm just gonna name it Android TV for now. And then they're gonna tell you, hey, install all the apps. I don't wanna do any of that. I'm gonna uncheck all of it. If I want something, I'll use a separate source box because I do not believe in relying on built-in TV apps. So that's just me personally. Now, they're gonna go through additional Google prompts, which again gets very annoying for me. And then you have Hisense's individual terms of service, yet another forced term of service that I think shouldn't be in a consumer grade TV. So I think this is something they really need to work on, because you're not only met with Google's forced terms of service where you just have to comply, but now Hisense is also hitting you with the same thing. At this point, as a user, most people would turn off to all this legal addendum nonsense because nobody wants to sit there and read what all of this is and to just be strong-armed into accepting it. Again, it feels crappy. It's not a fun thing. I would rather a plug-and-play approach like what LG does, and I think everybody else can do it if they can. Now, we're going to hit accept. And let's see, would you like to help Hisense improve our products? Since you strong-armed me, absolutely not. That's just how I roll. I just can't do it, man. If you're gonna make me comply with forced terms of service, I'm just gonna say forget about it, and I'm gonna go my own separate way. Now we're gonna go to the store mode and wait for the store demo to pop up, but don't be afraid because this won't destroy the TV or change any results down the road. It's just to literally get an idea of picture quality. Okay, so now the demo has officially started. I'm gonna turn down the brightness because there is a ton of clipping happening. But first thoughts, a little jagged. I am sitting super close, but a little jagged, but as far as the colors and clarity, it looks really nice. It really does, it's pretty impressive, but jagged. I'm noticing jagged lines. Now, I'm gonna sit a little further back in my room. Got a little hoarse there. I'm gonna sit a little further back in my room and see if I can't just see something different. Okay, so I'm gonna go way, way far back. Okay, yeah, now that I'm viewing it how it's supposed to be seen, obviously now I'm not noticing jagged lines because I'm not sitting directly up on it. And it's pretty damn incredible, like at least from what they're showing here. Now, as they were doing that thing where they did some sort of like, I don't know, it was something else that they did. I saw a little bit of banding there. So I feel like they're still gonna struggle with banding, but from a brightness perspective, the brightness is incredible. I don't know what people were talking about where they weren't impressed. This is fucking incredible. Like, dude, like, this is super impressive as hell, like, as hell. Because like the moon is dark, but now like this is so bright. Like I'm literally right here in front of it. And it's like I'm kind of like on a space station looking out of a window as they got to the Earth, right? And like now as it's panning around and like corner to corner, it just looks fucking impressive. It really does. It truly looks impressive. Now, again, as I look at the Hisense logo, there, no blooming whatsoever. Then as I look at this image, everything is very sharp. I see a contrast benefit that wasn't on the U8G, at least as far as this image is concerned. And even here, like, things just appear way sharper, like way sharper. So I feel like this TV has a higher room to grow than the U8G did as far as a contrast perspective. Again, these are early thoughts. I'm just kind of giving you an idea of what I'm noticing as I look at the initial picture quality. But from what I can see so far, this definitely has potential. Now, as far as people wondering the million-dollar question, how this will hold up against OLED, I've got a C1 sitting right behind this TV, and we're obviously going to be checking it against that to see how that plays out. But I think for an early showing, like as far as what I'm seeing early on, it's really impressive. Like, definitely super impressive. And you know, and it's one of those things where it sucks that the 75-inch size is the only size they make this in, because this shit is heavy as hell. It's a big box. I mean, the box is like 4.5 feet tall by like 6.5 feet long. I mean, it's big, you know, and so you got to have a lot of space for that. And it gets really like into being very uncomfortable sometimes, but the image quality is blowing my mind right now. I got to get to work on this, because this, like, as I see the colors and the sparkling of the glowing and the paint and like all that stuff that I saw back there a second ago, like, I'm really excited to get down and tear this thing apart. So what I need from you, the viewer watching right now, is to leave your feedback. The only way I'm going to be able to give you the well-rounded review instead of the glossed over ones that a lot of the other guys did is by leaving feedback on what specifically you want to see. And we're going to make that bad boy happen, because I tell you right now, as I looked and I see, like, this sun right now, how are you looking at this and like not being impressed like any of the other reviewers? That, bro, like, I have to, like, is there a way I can get to like the settings menu while I'm here? It doesn't appear so, but oh man, I can't wait to start messing with this. This is going to be fun. I can already tell this is going to be fun. Okay, but that's pretty much it for the unboxing. I didn't really show too much of it because most of it was me just struggling to lift a 75-inch all by myself and set it up. So yeah, this thing is freaking heavy, and you know, it's fun to do it with 2 people. If you've got 2 people, definitely do it. I did not do a team lift, but as you see, I'm more than strong enough to set it up on my own. So, you know, more or less. I got space limitations, so we can't really do what we usually do, but we'll make it work. That being said, though, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, all that good stuff, leave it down below. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.